So I want to tell the story of how I was raped my freshman year. Um, I'm not going to say his name, but let's just call him David. Let's go with David. David works. Um, his mom was best friends with my mom, I guess, in high school. And he went to a different school, but my mom knew his mom, so we ended up becoming friends. Well, sooner rather than later, David and I became very good friends. We decided that dating was a good idea. And not only did we date, we got very serious very fast. We went to homecoming together. And I thought I was having the best night of my life. It was great. Well, not too shortly after homecoming, my mom's boyfriend had something wrong with him and he had to stay in the hospital, like overnight almost. And they didn't know when they'd be home, and I had been staying over there. I was hanging out, and my mom called his mom and was just like, hey, I'm sorry for this, like, late thing, but can she stay with you guys? And his mom had agreed. And I'm sorry for stuttering a lot in this video. This is a really hard story for me to tell. And, well, I'm sorry. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. That night, we were in the bedroom and we were doing stuff, but we weren't, like, doing everything, Like, we weren't, at that point, we weren't sexual, like, not completely anyway. And he had decided, I guess, that we were gonna have sex, and he started to pull my pants off. And I know this is really explicit, and I'm really sorry. After he took my pants off, he started to pull his pants off, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not ready for that right now. And he was like, well, from what I've heard, you've done this kind of stuff before. And I was like, well, I'm a virgin, so don't know where you would have heard that from. But I guess I just had, like, a really bad reputation in high school. Long story about that later. But anyway, so he forces himself on me, and I kept saying, no, please, like, I don't want to do this. Stop. And he didn't stop. My mom ended up calling at 2:30-ish in the morning and said, we're out of the hospital now, we can come get her. And I was like, great, let's leave, I'm ready to go. So I got my clothes on and I was like, woo. And after my mom had came to pick me up, she was like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Like, you don't look like yourself. And I was like, I'm honestly fine, I just want to go home, I'm tired. Because, that's not the kind of thing you really want to tell your parents when you're 14, you know? And I thought everything was going to be okay after that. I thought, we ended up doing it, so maybe it'll make him happy. I don't know. He ended up leaving me within the next week. And my mother, I didn't tell her for a long time what he had did to me. And once I did, she was in disbelief. She had no idea that a nice boy like David would do that to me. And he was your typical, like, all-star kid, had good grades, did what he was supposed to do. He was really popular in school. Nobody would have thought that he would have done this to me. And his dad was on the police force. And before everybody comments and says, well, why didn't you report it? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Like I said, his father is on the police force. He could have easily gotten the case thrown out. And, you know, I didn't know what to do. And, like, I appreciate anybody who watches this video, because this video was so hard to make. I never thought that I would be able to tell this story and not break down. And I'm trying really hard not to right now. Because I'm happy. I'm in a happy relationship now. I have been in happy relationships since him, but it still hurts me to see pictures, to see anything of his. He tried to friend request me the other day, and I had to block him because I can't do it, you know? He ended up transferring to my school, and I had to see him all the time. He tried to beat up my baby's dad at prom for no reason. Like, my boyfriend hadn't done anything wrong. But yeah, that's my story. Thanks for listening.